morning and welcome to Elevate Your Coaching Business. I'm Johanne O'Halleron and I am a business mentor and sales expert for new coaches that want to sign their first 5 clients and beyond. Today, what we're going to have a look at is what does it really take to be successful? What does it really take to have a successful coaching business? Because year on year, I see the same thing where new coaches come in, like they come in super excited and are like so lit up. And then they fall off, like they just completely fall off, and their business either maintains at like 1 or 2 clients a year, or they just stop altogether. And it doesn't need to be that way. That is not how business needs to be. But there's certain things and there's certain ways that you get to be so that you can have a successful coaching business. So right now, if you are and I'd love to hear in the comments, so we're live here on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and I'd love to know in the comments, where is your coaching business currently at? Are you have you brought in clients at all? Are you brand new? Do you have some clients, but not a lot? Are they inconsistent? Or have you had a steady stream of clients coming in? And there's no right or wrong, right? Nothing is good or bad. It's just where we're currently at. And like, if I share where I started, like, I'm not afraid to share when I started my business, it was horrendous, right? It was like, I didn't know what I was doing. And my ego was driving me too, because I expected it to be easy. I expected it to be exactly what I see on social media. And I expected that when I just turn up on social media, that people would flock to me, because I was very confident in my ability to be able to coach, because having worked in human resources for so long and it just been built into my DNA, I was really confident in my ability to coach. But what I didn't bank on was the challenges that come with building a business and all the different nuances that are there. And no matter who you follow on social media, you don't get all the background stuff, right? You don't get to see what it all looks like. So I want to break this down for you today to share with you what it really looks like and what it really takes to be successful. So like I said, the first 8 months of my business, shocking. So like for the first 6 months, I had one client, and I got €2,000, amazing. And you can't live off that, right? Like I'm a single parent. How could you live off €2,000? You can't. Thankfully, I was working at the time too. So it was, I had an income coming in. But if I didn't, what would I have done, right? And I hear this story really, really often, is that it's really challenging to make money as a coach. It's really challenging to bring in consistent clients. And I want to share with you, it's only really challenging because you don't know how to do it, and you're not showing up in the way that will generate clients consistently. So you don't need to have a certain personality type. Like the person that you see that I am now is not the person that I was when I started my business. I did lack confidence. I was shy. I hated being online, and going live and things like that really scared me. However, I was committed to my vision. I was committed to my goal. I was determined to make it happen. And I got to work through a lot of stuff, right? So like I said, 6 months, €2,000. And then the next 2 months, literally nothing, zero. And I did what I hear every single solitary coach doing. I'm turning up constantly on social media. I'm posting on social media. I'm holding masterclasses and nobody is coming. So if this is you, write me in the comments and know that you're in good hands, because I was there too, right? I did the same thing that everybody else does. And also that is what I was taught to do, right? That's what I was taught to do. But there's an element of that that's missing in terms of like your mindset and how you feel about yourself internally. And then there's other elements that are missing in terms of business that are crucial for you to be able to generate results. So what shifted? So I'm going to share with you like what shifted for me to go from nothing to like 10K months and like consistent clients. So what shifted? A lot shifted, because there was no other way, right? What I had done at the start of my business was I was operating on an either or basis. And again, I see a lot of people doing this. So I had invested in my mindset and then I went and invested in my business. Great. And that was an either or. When I put them together and had somebody supporting me with my mindset and with my business, that's when things changed. Because strategy is one thing, but any strategy will work, right? Any strategy will work. but it's how you are with the strategy, how you're showing up, how you're sharing it, how you're implementing it, your tenacity with it, and letting go of any like attachments, like energy attachments that you have to it. But like what I'll hear a lot of people say is, I'm not there yet. That's a story. That's an excuse. That's not a real thing. That's a decision. And will you always feel ready? No, no, you won't. Things feel scary. Fact. I promise you, things feel scary. Things still feel scary for me. But the difference now is I know that it's a fear that nothing is actually going to happen to me for, other than I get to get curious about, well, why do I really feel afraid? What is it bringing up for me? And normally it's words that I'm like, just create that, you know, that icky feeling with, like, so as in, you know, if I'm trying to manipulate a situation so that I can feel safe, and feel like stay in my comfort zone, or maybe I feel shame or guilt around how something has happened in the past and I don't want it to happen like that again. So I'm like, those things can come up. But if you refuse to look at them and refuse to acknowledge that they exist, they're going to keep holding on to you. So that was the first thing. So it was knowing that I needed somebody to help me with my mindset and see my blind spots and really what was holding me back, as well as, okay, what is the strategy that's going to propel my business forward? And for any of you that are in this situation right now and you're like, okay, I want to know what it takes to be able to get there. The first thing that I want you to know is, and that you really get to sit with, is how you are showing up is 100% of everything. So if you are using the words, sure, I'll see how it goes, which I hear, or I'll wait and see, or I'll do this when, you literally have your foot on the brake. So as a visual, think if you're driving a car, you have your foot on the brake and you've got the handbrake pulled up. So like no matter how much you put your foot on the accelerator, you are going nowhere, like nowhere. So if that is your thought process right now, make a decision right now to shift that. So look at it in a different way and say, rather than I'll see, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to making this happen. I'm committed to showing up in whatever way is required so that I can make this happen. Because then you're taking your foot off the brake, you've put the handbrake down, and now your foot is on the accelerator to move forward. And, you know, if you're a logical thinker and you'll be like, well, it makes sense to do A, B, C, D first. Yes. And your energy and your focus on it matters. So for any time you add on something else, you add on a reason. I call them excuses because that word resonates with me. And when I hear that I'm in my excuses, I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. That's not going to support me or my clients or my potential clients. So I got to shift that. Before you, what word resonates with you? Is it that you've created a story around it, a reason around it, or an excuse? And remind yourself of that. Is that what I'm doing right now? Have I created a story? Have I created an excuse? Have I created a reason for me to not do this? And if the answer is yes, shift it, because all you've done is put your foot on the brake and pulled up the handbrake at the same time. And it's not a fun place to be, but if you refuse to bring awareness to it, you're never going to be able to accept it so that you can take action on it. So I'm a massive fan of operating everything through 3 A's. So if you've followed me for a while, you will know this. So the first A is awareness, the second A is acceptance, and the third A is action. Most people will stop at the first A, which is awareness. It's like, okay, I'm aware of this now. That's great. But you've got to accept it. You've got to accept that it exists and accept that it's going to show up over and over and over and over and over and over again. You will never be rid of it. So anytime something isn't going the way that you want it to, that very reason, excuse, story is exactly what's happening. So you've got to accept that it exists and accept that it's going to come up. And then you've got to be willing to take action anyway, because it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's outside your comfort zone, right? And for anyone that is a high achiever, which to be fair is most entrepreneurs, you're going to be able to go to a certain place that you may feel is outside your comfort zone, but it's really not. It's just an area of your comfort zone you haven't tested before. So you can achieve a good bit before you hit that wall, like as the outside of your comfort zone. And then you get a fright when you hit that wall because it's like, well, everything else was working. I need to do something else. I need to do something else, right? It's the doing that you get into, and it's never that. It's always how you're showing up into something that you haven't uncovered yet, right? Or that you've pretended wasn't there, or you chose to ignore it. So that's the first place that you get to go is what way you show up matters, and what are your excuses or reasons for why things are the way that they are. And I'm like, look, let's be real, right? The most common ones are, I don't have time right now, I'm not ready, right? Or I don't have the money. And you can make them as true as you want for you, or you can do what I did, which was, there was no money in my bank account. Zero. There was zero. And I found a way to get money so that I could invest it, because I was determined to be able to succeed. So like, there's a difference between you literally having no money and having no access to money, which isn't a real thing, or you're refusing to invest money because you feel afraid, because you don't trust yourself. And it's when you bring awareness to that, and when you accept that that's what's actually going on, there's so much freedom in it, right? Because you're not being held down anymore. Like, any shackles that were on you are gone. There's a massive freedom in being real and honest with yourself. So that's the first thing. The second thing then is your strategy. So where I see any coach that has come to me that I work with who isn't generating the money that they want, it all starts at the front end, right? The front end. But most people look at the back end, which is the sales, right? It's like, how do I generate sales? You cannot generate sales if you don't have leads. You cannot. And then there's multiple ways in which you can bring in leads. I teach it through collaborations, because that is the quickest way to be able to generate leads, and high quality leads too. But once you've generated the leads, you've got to be in consistent nurturing of them. So consistent nurturing. So that is your social media posts, and it is going live, and it is being in DMs, and it is like holding masterclasses and offering freebies. All of that gets to run simultaneously alongside any lead generation that you're doing. And then you'll go into like your lead conversion, so your sales. And I'm like, you can choose to do sales in any which way you want. You can sell constantly. You can do periods of time where you sell, or you can launch, right? Like, there's so many different ways that you can do it. There's no right, wrong, good, bad. And it all depends on the energy that you're willing to put into it. It also could be that it depends on what you're creating at that moment in time. So like, what a lot of people do is they'll put their time and energy into one-on-ones so that they can generate cash to be able to create a group program. Awesome, right? Like, so then you'll go into launches. So they'll go from evergreen into launches, which is amazing, right? You can do it any which way you want. But my point with this is, if you're not generating leads in the front end, you can forget about having sales at the back end. And if you're generating leads and then not getting into relationship with them, not being present with them, not connecting with them, not sharing value with them, not understanding them, not doing market research with them, consistently, like, and I mean consistently, then you can forget about sales at the back end. So like, if I give you an example, I had a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago who was having DM conversations with people, but they weren't generating anything. And when we got under the cover of it, the DM conversations were getting energy, right? So I want this from you, and then getting frustrated because there was no response. So this is where your energy matters. Whenever we get into getting energy, we end up taking, right? And who wants to be around that? That's not a nice energy to be around. Whereas if somebody is giving and they're nurturing and they're caring, people are going to want to get to know you, right? So this is why I'm saying your energy matters, your mindset matters, your approach to this matters. So if, for example, you have a, well, I'll give it a go and see what happens attitude, right? Which some people do. And it's not that it's right or wrong, but it's just to bring awareness to it, to know that it's not working for you and accept that it's not working. So if that's your attitude right now, and you can see on the back end that people are not responding to your DMs, or, they're not getting on sales calls with you, you're not converting sales, that's why. Your energy and your attitude towards it, that's why. It's not the strategy that's not working, it's your energy and your attitude. So the two of them get to marry together, right? And all of the three sections, from lead conversion, from lead generation into lead nurturing and lead strategy, or say this again, lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion, all three of them get to marry together, because I see it so often where people are like, this is the number one strategy for this. It's not, because behind the scenes there's multiple strategies going on, multiple. So like, even if you think of, when a lead comes in, like, there's multiple ways in which you can, connect with that lead, warm up that lead, get into a relationship with that lead. There's so many different ways that you can do it. That's what I'm saying. There's no one strategy that works, but it's your energy attachment to it, how you show up with it, and what you're choosing to create. So self-doubt is normal. So let's take the label off it. It is totally normal. And it happens all the time. And when it happens, you have to look at, well, what way do I want to create things right now? Do I want to stop and like have my little pity party and feel sorry for myself and collect all the evidence as to why I can't do this? And we've all done that, right? We've all done it. I've done it. So you can do that, right? You can collect all the evidence to prove that you're right, so that it makes you stop for a solid like week at a time. Or you can recognize that that's what you're doing. You're sabotaging yourself. You're going into doubt, and that you're starting to collect evidence for it. You can accept that it's not working, and then you can choose to take action and follow through on whatever the strategy is that has caused this, that has triggered this in you, because that's where you're going to have incredible results. So you have to remember, the results that you want are on the opposite side of whatever feels scary to you. And for as long as you don't push, like for as long as you hold where you are, you keep your foot on the brake and have the handbrake up, things are going to stay the same. So I had a conversation with a client of mine yesterday, and she is creating amazing things, like really, 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 really big things. And just like what I was talking about there, doubt kicked in, right? Self-doubt kicked in. And she literally took her foot off the accelerator, but took it off so far that everything stopped, like absolutely everything stopped. And she even said herself, she went into hiding. She was choosing not to do things, and was manifesting things happening in her life so that she didn't have to do the next thing, right, in her business. So know that this will happen for you. And this is where having the benefit of a coach is really supportive for you, because not only can somebody help you shift past your blind spots, they can help you stay accountable to what you've committed to creating, because it is scary, right? And it can feel really lonely when you're out here on your own, because you'll often think that like nobody else understands what you're going through, but we do, because we've been there, right? We've been there over and over and over again. But the difference between success and not success in a coaching business is how you choose to show up. And like I always say to my own clients, you've got to be in integrity to what it is, number one, that you're creating, so what you're committed to, and number two, what you share with your clients are the results that are possible. Because if you're not generating that yourself, if you're not showing up in a way that, like for yourself, that you want your clients to show up for themselves, you're going to create like this barrier and this disconnection between you and your clients, because you're not in integrity. You know you're not in integrity. That's going to come across to your clients. And then if that's coming across to your clients, you're not going to generate sales. So you've got to start with choosing you, choosing your vision, choosing to be committed no matter what. Life is going to happen anyway. Regardless of whether or not you do this, life is going to happen. It doesn't stop just because you want it to. But your perspective can shift. Your perspective can make all the difference in the world. So my invitation for you today is, if your coaching business is not in the place where you want it to be, you're not creating the clients that you want, there is zero consistency with clients coming in, you're flip-flopping with the way that you're approaching it, your leads are not strong coming in, there's not a high volume of leads or high quality leads coming in, and they're not converting out the back end, then I want you to send me a message. I want you to send me a message so that we can talk about how me supporting you can get you to that place. I have 100% success rate with my clients, because I'm committed AF, number one, to you and you getting results, but also I've seen what works, and there's certain things that work for some people and that don't work for others, right? And depending on your what's in alignment with you, depending on what your values are, will determine what way you move forward. So my invitation for you today is, if your coaching business is not in the place that you want it to be, there is no consistency with clients, there is no consistency with revenue coming in, don't be the martyr that thinks it has to be this way. Don't gather evidence as to why it is this way so that you can stay in that. Choose to shift it. Choose to have 2023 be completely different for you. completely different. We're 1 month into Q2 already. Imagine if you could come out of the end of Q2 with more clients than what you have now. How would that look for you? What difference would that make for your business? So be a yes to you, be a yes to your business, be a yes for your clients, and send me a message so that we can have a conversation about how my support with you can generate results for you. Talk to you soon.